few questions in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. And I will attempt to answer these questions. First, I read out a question to you. When I finish a prayer, an event immediately happens afterwards. That is, leaves fall on my head, or a piece of incense falls off and burns your hand. Is it burn my hand or your hand? I don't know. I didn't put any incense, and I presume it's burning your own hand. Is it a sign or an illusion? Thank you. You said it. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that happens in the mind. All illusions are false. All illusions are just illusions. More than such an illusion about incense falling off or leaves falling off, you have a lot of illusions in your mind. Illusions of greediness, illusions of ignorance, illusions of fear, all kinds of illusions. We have all kinds of illusions in our consciousness, not just this kind. So don't particularly add a mystery to the illusion about an incense falling off or leaves or that. We have all illusions are not real. Don't attach to them. Okay, next question. Is there such thing as other world entities we cannot see without the opening of the third eye? If there's a third eye. Some people call it, just want to call it a third eye. Some people call it, I don't know, a heavenly eye. Some people call it a wisdom eye. So it does not matter that a third eye or fourth eye or fifth eye is just a word. So that means if you have somehow an insight, the question is there such thing as a worldly entities that we cannot see? Of course, there's so many things, not just the third eyes. If you define your third eye as a spiritual eye or whatever you want to define it, there's so many things we, with our human eyes, we cannot see. Not to mention the third eye. There's so many things there's so many sounds that our ears are not capable of listening to. There's so many things that our eyes are not capable of catching even a glimpse of. There's so many things with our limited sensory organs. There's so many things we cannot see. As a matter of fact, our sensory organs are inferior to those of some other animals, which I always quote an example. A dog can listen to an ambulance 1 mile, 2 miles away. We cannot. Sometimes a dog barks in here, or some dog can imitate the sound of a siren. Ooh, a dog producing that kind of sound, then you know an ambulance is going to go by in the next minute. But they already have heard that sound. So the dog's ears are better than our ears. The dog's smell, the nose, are better than our nose. A whale can listen to his partners miles away in the ocean. An eagle can see a grain of rice, a grain from the sky. Miles away from the sky, he can see a rat in there. So he can actually pounce and get the prey on the rat. So sometimes you are amazed how can eagles catch something as small as a rat, because they have very acute eyes. So our senses are very limited, So there are many things that we cannot see even with our own eyes in here. Can you see ghosts? Some people can, some people cannot. So don't attach mystery to the Buddhist teaching. Mystery exists all the time, everywhere, all the time. Why don't we learn enlightenment? How to enlighten yourself, how to get to wisdom. Don't attach to mysteries like ghosts, spirits, third eye, I don't know, something invisible. Don't attach to that. People, I know that I've been a monk for quite a while. I know that people like to talk about those things. Talk about things that he can see. He said he can see, something in the sky that you cannot see. They always imagine things, and maybe it's something that they actually see, but so what? The fact that you can see other worldly entities does not mean that you don't have to die. There's no that you don't have to age. You won't get sick. You still want to get. People always want to look at something mystical. They don't go. They won't spend. Some people do not actually spend their time in actually meditating and getting to know the wisdom. They spend all their time in what? Finding about spirits, ghosts, ghostbusters. You know, they like to spend the time in that kind of. That's not necessary. Next question. Could you please advise if there are any plans in 2017 or early 2018 to hold a meditation or temporary ordination retreat in English? We have already held a retreat. I think it's a 3-day retreat, a long weekend retreat in English, and that's the reason why we want to warm up. We want to slowly get to a 7-day retreat. It's good to have a temporary ordination in English, so that English-speaking Buddhists or non-Buddhists can join. But that takes time to do. We will have to slowly build it up. And then sometimes I think about the urgency of a temporary ordination. You know, people living in this temporal world, they have different attitudes. To some people, they just come here for for Saturday meditation, and that's it. It's like going to church. They come here on a Saturday meditation, and then after Saturday meditation, they go for tennis playing, for golfing, for running, for jogging, for party, and all that. They treat this as a program in their weekend activities. And sometimes they don't come, and sometimes they come, most of the time they come. They don't find an urgency in enlightenment. I live every day, and I live from a breakfast to a dinner, and then I work again, and they don't find an urgency in getting out of samsara, in getting out of life and death. If they found an urgency, they would have become a monk or a nun already. They don't find it. They just want a Saturday afternoon. To some people, it's just like a decoration it's just an ornament to adorn on the pleasure of a Saturday leisure. That's what they want. They don't have an urgency in life and death. And when things come out, okay, then chant, pray, a lot of praise, a lot of chanting, going about to see which monk can help me. I'm sick. All of a sudden they get scared. Don't wait till the last day. Don't wait till you have problems. Then you ask for a dedication of prayers and all that. Don't wait for the last day, because if you want the effect to come, you have to build it up. You have to, if you want a mantra to work, it's not just chanting a short mantra, and then everything will be coming effectively. But in some cases it would. But what I'm saying is just to make it clear for you, always prepare for the storm. Prepare for the bad weather. Don't wait until you're thirsty to dig the well. I'm thirsty and I start to dig this well so that I can get water. Too late. You'll be so thirsty that you're dying. You have to build it up. And there's an urgency in life. I have seen members who come for meditation, and some people die in accident, and Some people get sick. And don't wait till you have problems. This world is short. Life is short. Life is a transient hotel. Like life is, you're a transient passenger, you know. Everybody is a transient passenger in the journey of life. And in your transience, you don't know when your body is going to be due. It could be due any time. Don't wait. Do something about your life and death. Otherwise, when you finish this life, you're getting the next round of reincarnation. Will you be as happy as this one? Quote unquote, that your definition of happiness, you're not sure. And how do you end up in your death? You're not sure. What's the future is going to be in store for you? You're not sure. Work at it. I'm glad you asked this question. You want an ordination, a temporary ordination. That's good, you know. But we try to work at it if there's an urgency. But I don't find an urgency right now in here, except for a few people. Because when I tell people to start to register, I don't get a welcoming. I don't get a warm response. I only have a few guys. So what can we do? And always build up in urgency for it. Life is very short, and death could be any time. Sickness could be any time. When you finish this life, where are you going to go? You don't want the reincarnation again. You want to get out from reincarnation. In order to achieve that purpose of not getting into life and death, you have to work at it. Not just talking about it. Not just coming for a Saturday afternoon and you think that you already have fulfilled that meditation, that looking for a spiritual journey. It's not enough. It's just a preliminary course. But this good question is asked, and we'll try to arrange ordination, or if you like, we can try a permanent ordination for you. But nobody show up for permanent ordination. They got scared. Yeah. Now, there are people who actually work at their enlightenment. You can get that information from the internet, from Google, from YouTube. There are quite a few people, too, who really take really serious concern about where they're going after life, about getting out from life and death. And I try to get that from internet. All right, so next question. Reverend Guan Cheng and Hong Chi for dedicating prayers for the success of the eye surgery of Lin Cho. Yeah, you're welcome, but family members must continue to chant for Lin. Chant the Buddha medicine. Om Bai Sa Jue, Bai Sa Jue, Bai Sa Jue, Samagati Swaha. Chant this. How many times? 1,000 times? As many times as possible. Whenever you're chanting, it's a sound therapy. That sound therapy produces effect. That sound therapy is a happening of a frequency. It's a creation of an energy. But an energy, when a creation of vibration energy is created, and that energy is worked with prayer, is worked with a wish, is worked with compassion, it will transmit. It will be effective. Because the purpose, the intention of that energy is for the good, is for recovery. So it would work out. But you have to increase the frequency in such a point that it's transmittable. Your frequency is too weak. If your battery is not good in your cell phone, you can never get to anywhere you want. It's just like a frequency, it's just a universal frequency station. You gotta have your connection through. Your battery is weak. your frequency is not enough. 100 years ago, nobody would imagine that a cell phone can reach thousands and thousands of miles, and a human voice can be transmitted through the air of thousands and thousands of miles. It was unimaginable. But now it happened. You know, the vibration is sound therapy. Sound therapy creates energy, and that energy will work out. But you have to, what's the criteria for making a prayer come true? A very important concept. What's the criteria for making a prayer successful? The first one is you got to have an intention. Your intention is to render compassion to the patient. Your intention is to, this is your intention. You got to have intention. Second, it has to have repetition. For something to work out, you have to repeat it all the time. Repetition will increase the strength of the prayer. The energy, the direction of the energy depends on the intention. The intention would direct your energy to where it should go. But the strength of the prayer is on repetition. Repeat until it's successful. Those are the two very important criteria for it to come true. Energy it never disappeared. It transforms only. It never disappeared. Energy never disappeared, but it transformed. It could transform into a prayer, and that prayer transform out for recovery. All right, that's next question. No, I already have answered the 4 questions. Did you have a question? Did you raise your hand yet? Well, you can. It's good to produce the sound. Produce the sound is very important. Some people say that the transmission is a mind-to-mind mental transmission, but the sound itself regurgitate into your ears, and then it further reinforces your intention. So it's on a strengthening effect. So it's better that you can listen to it, you can hear it, and also when you produce the sound, it's a vibration. When you produce sound has vibration, a thought has vibration. The thought is a subtle kind of vibration. The sound is a coarse kind of vibration. But the coarse kind of vibration will work at the subtlety of it. You know what I mean? So if you sound it out, it increases the subtlety of the sound. So it's all interactive. And it's good to produce the sound. It's good to produce the vibration. It's a kind of sound therapy. It can transmit millions of miles just like a frequency can. Yeah. And chanting is a sound therapy. Sitting meditation is a consciousness therapy. It's a mind therapy. Don't treat it like superstitiously, it's like a god, like a Buddha will look at you. It's science. If you want the term science as something that you believe in, it's a sound therapy on the chanting, and it's a consciousness therapy on the sitting meditation, on the silent meditation. So on every sitting of meditation, you are actually what? Strengthening your consciousness. Don't ignore it. Some people say, I want to go for golfing. I can golf for the whole day. I can golf for 5 hours, 6 hours. It's fun, but can you meditate for 5 hours? You can golf for 5 hours, but you can only meditate for half an hour because you think that meditation is not as effective as golfing. Or you can exercise for 1 day, but you won't do half an hour meditation. I don't know what kind of effect it will produce if you think that way. Probably because golfing, you can eat, you can talk, and you can drink, and it's fun because you can satisfy your senses more. You can see what's going on, and your eyes want to roam all over the place. Your tongue like to taste the flesh and blood of animals and drink beers and alcohol, And I don't know, because you like to exploit your senses as far as possible to get the pleasure of doing it in golfing, and all your senses gear inwards for the happiness inside, and that's difficult to grasp at. So you have to sound it out in your prayer, in your prayer, okay? So you have to say Om Vaisajya 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 Samagati Swaha. You have that piece of paper? Yeah, okay. So do it as many times as possible. Yeah, until it becomes effective. Yeah. Any more question? No more question? And also talking about ordination, maybe there's one more point I would like to work out to talk about it. When people do ordination in here, whether it's a 3 days retreat or 7 days ordination, or for someone who wants to come to a temple for a short duration, a temple is based on people helping everywhere. And when anybody will come to the temple, don't treat the temple as a hotel, that you come to sleep in the evening and then you go away to different places to visit. I go to temple A, then temple B, temple C, temple D, and then at night I come to temple D, temple E for sleep. A temple is a place where you do meditation, where you are doing an enlightenment. And for all those who visit the temple, especially those who want to stay for a long time, usually we tell him or her, if you want to be a monk or a nun, you have to stay in the temple at least for 6 months. And during those 6 months, we have to observe you, and you have to observe us. And in the observation, we want to make sure that you can get along with people. Some people are more or less egoistic. They just want everybody to give him the comfort. He wants a nice room. To some people, if they want to live in the temple, the first day when they come, they want to get the best room in the temple. Where's the best room? Where's the room with the window? Where's the room closest to the closet? They always get the best, and then they're not giving. So in the first 6 months, you know how we train novice monks and nuns? They have to go out to the field to labor, plow the soil, cut the roots, fertilizing. We want to see how he can be subject to endurances and tolerance level. Not many people can do that. They thought that becoming a monk or a nun, like what we're doing in here, we're enjoying comfort. You think that we're enjoying comfort? In every day we have to work. We have to do labor work. We have a lot of work to do. So everybody has an ego. You come with that ego. You have to what? You have to slowly scrub off your ego. And how do you scrub off your ego? You can't get along with people. When people tell you that, hey, you're living in that room, but you're not doing a cleanup. Look, your washroom is dirty, and you didn't replace the toilet paper, and your toilet seat is all dirty, and if we're sharing the toilet seat for you, it's terrible. You can't stand it. They would say, hey, you've been late in your lunch, and we can't, we can't, have you late all the time, then you don't like it. There's a lot of behavior manifestation. And living in a temple for the first 6 months, you have to eliminate all these bad habits that you have been accumulating. And that is what? Extremely difficult. We find that people live for 5 days, they're gone. Because they think, this is not the place for me. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to be subject to regulations, all that and all that. They're gone in 5 days. Some people gone for 2 days, and some people 1 month they're gone. So you have to subject yourself to patience, tolerance, hard work, and a change of your old, obstinate, egoistic behavior, which everybody has. And that's extremely difficult. So talking about temporary ordination, change your personality first before you come for ordination or long ordination. You have to watch out on that. Even after a person becomes a monk or a nun, There's a lot more to learn. Learning how to interact with people, how to scrub off your ego. When I'm living all alone, I want to do everything. When I have dirty clothes, I just throw it on the floor and then I pick it up later. I can put dirty clothes on the floor for 5 days and then I pick it up later. And I can, a lot of habits that you have accumulated that your mom and dad probably didn't have time to tell you to do all that. And then you've been subject yourself, maybe you left home when you were 18 and then you build up this bad habits. Some people, they don't sleep at 10 o'clock in here. When they hit the gong, they will stay until midnight, 1 o'clock, and then the next morning when they get up to do the morning prayers, they try to open up the eyelids, and then they drink a lot of coffee, and then try to sustain that morning, and then they can't live the temple's routines. And so, talking about ordination, always think about that. You have to keep a low profile to endure all this hardship first. If you can do that, it's really practice Buddhism for you. You have been refined. You have your identity, your real ego has been scrubbed off to such a point that you're all compassionate. You're all giving. You're all tolerable. You're endurable. It's difficult. I don't know if you know what I mean. Get the ego off. Somebody say you are no good. You don't like it. You may even answer back. You say, "Wow, why do I have to subject myself to these irregularities? I'm coming here for, living in a temple and find out if this is good for me. If the food is good for me. If my accommodation is good for me. If everything suits my taste." No way. You really have to, you and I, scrub your ego off. And that's part of enlightenment.